Hello and welcome back. This is MC1 Gamer bringing you an update on what I've got going on for Saga. So these are my Berserkers, and I mashed them up from a variety of different bits. Some of them from the Herdman box set. Those are notably the heads and the that cloak, the wolf cloak. I'm having a little trouble getting that to focus there. Let's see if I can do it like this. There you go. Oh, had it, lost it. And then I have one where he's dragging a couple of severed heads, which is from some of the Warhammer boxes. Not necessarily historical, but still, these are Berserkers. And look, the mold lines are not all completely done on these yet. So we'll have a little bit of work to do before I start priming them. Let's see if I can get that focused in there. So there's those. Added some axes, changed the hands around, changed their positions. They had, obviously, where they were apart at the waistline. So I had them put into various positions to give them a little bit more of an action pose. And one of the guys at the shop gave me the torsos and legs from another set. Because the plastics that I used, I didn't go for the metal for the this Viking set. I wanted to make up my own with the plastic set. And I just find that, first of all, converting up is a lot easier when you're converting from plastic. And, it's a little bit, just a preference of mine. And it's hard to get really the detail of the face on these. But I was able, one of the guys was nice enough to give me a sprue with some of these bare-chested, I guess they were Celts or one of the other war bands from Saga. And I decided I would use it and, changed up some of the weapons and put, again, some of these cloaks from the Viking Herdman box, and made up my own Viking Berzerkers. Now there's only 4 that you can get. They're Hearthguard, but you only get 1 that you can upgrade to Berserkers. But these guys, these guys really rock on the battlefield for the Vikings. They do a crapload of attacks, and if you can get certain abilities off with your dice rolls, you can actually get a lot even more. So I just decided to take some of these really heavy bearded and crazy haired heads and match them up with these bare chested bodies and put a couple cloaks on them, make sure they have a few axes or swords. And in one case, this guy's holding up, he's holding up a couple of severed heads. And I think it does the job. We'll see exactly, just a couple of them challenging or, rushing into battle. They work out pretty well. I mean, I like the ones that are in the metal, and I'm sure there's other places that actually have some good ones. But if you guys follow my channel, you know that I love to convert. I like to make my own. And what I'm going to probably do is, even go even that extra mile with the rest of my warband, which is currently in the following state. They're all just torsos on the magnetic bases. I got 2 units of what are going to be the Hearthguard, standard Hearthguard, 2 units of warriors. So it's going to be the one in terms of total points, 1 for the warlord, 1 for the 2 Hearthguard you see here, 1 for the 1 unit of Berserkers, and 1 for each of the 8-man units of warriors, standard warriors. So I haven't done any of the poses yet, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of these, which are arrows. I'm going to put some of these sticking out of some of their shields. I think that would probably give it some extra character, and I think that'll kind of work out nicely. I mean, I have some of these transfers that'll be good for the actual shields, so I don't have to paint them, and they'll look really nice. But I'm just going to put some holes in those once I put them on there, and then we'll make these guys look like they've taken a good couple of waves of shooting, which is probably pretty standard for Vikings since they don't have any shooting unless I want to take levies. And I do have a dozen levies that I haven't put up yet. I haven't put together yet, but I might put them together for the occasion that I go up against certain types of forces where I think you need a little bit of shooting. But for the most part, the Vikings are just, rush forward and destroy. And that's really the name of the game. And the Zerkers are probably their best unit and most unique unit. And they just do a crap load of damage. So, these, again, they haven't been cleaned up yet. There's some work yet to do for them. Clean them up a little bit with some of those mold lines. And then, of course, finish up the basing. But once they're done, they will look like a bunch of crazy, unarmored, wild berserkers, and I think they'll work pretty well. And, again, I want to thank Joe at the club for giving me a couple of those torso pieces, the top and they're just the body pieces that I can go ahead and use to make my own. That was really cool of him, and saved me a couple of bucks in terms of, picking up something to double as my berserkers. And now I can, get these guys ready to paint up and then start working on my warlord and the rest of my warband. Hope you enjoyed this. We're certainly going to be doing some more Saga for future. I'm going to do some battle reports, and I'll be posting some of that stuff up for the channel and showing how the game works and what some of the groups warbands that they've decided to start with. And there seems to be a pretty good diversity. There's a good group of people, and a lot of different people are trying lots of different warbands. So I don't think I'm the only person that's doing Vikings, but I think I'm the only person that's starting out with Vikings. We'll see how it turns out. Saga, a lot of good positive feedback people are giving as far as this game. It's got some simplistic rules to start with, but there's a lot of depth in how to use those rules. And after reading through it, I think that they're right. There's definitely some very interesting ways of playing this game, and I'm looking forward to learning how it works on the battlefield. So here are my Screaming Vikings, and the first wave of them finished up, my crazy berserkers. And keep checking out my channel, and hopefully you'll subscribe and you'll follow, because in the interim, waiting for Warhammer 9th edition to come out, I've been getting into a lot of historical stuff, not just Saga, but if you've been following, you'll see that I'm starting a bolt action, and I've got a very large project for 15 millimeter World War II battle group system. But that's a lot of work. This is only about maybe like 35 models or so. So this should be able to get finished up, and we can start seeing this stuff on the battlefield looking good pretty quickly. Have a great day, everybody.